Wow.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Yay.
Hi.
I'm glad to be back here with you. And I wanted to thank Joan. She's not with us today, but she was able to run last week's show because I was not able to be here. And I thank you guys for going over there with her and working out the show together last week. Thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. And Mark is gracing us with his pumpkin and cat shirt today.
Puppy. My little hornet puppy too. She's in there like a little pumpkin head.
Oh, did you ever see Tom Hanks dressed up as David S. Pumpkins?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God! Every Halloween I think about that. That is so funny. It is just so funny. Yes. Wow. So also welcome to Terri, and welcome to Thayer. And Thayer's got a beautiful new shawl made by Juno. Yeah.
Made it for me in the spring, but I thought I would wear it today. It's just gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, is right.
Absolutely. Beautiful work.
She does.
Beautiful colors and good videos on her channel.
Good juju from Juno.
Yeah, good juju from Juno. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. So we have been talking about changing up a little bit about our show. We have not yet decided what we're going to be doing, but we would love any suggestions that you might have. We want to make it a little more exciting, perhaps. Maybe try some different questions and have different topics that we're going to do. But we haven't really decided yet, but we welcome any input that any of you have for us, things that you might like to see. Oh, Lisa, you need some hot cider. Well, I could have Terri go out and make that for you. But yeah, no, I understand. Is it really cold in Connecticut? It's not that. It's very nice here in Washington. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, just a beautiful day. Oh, Juno, you got 2 hugs from Wisdom Seeker Joan? Oh my goodness, she stopped to see you. I'm so excited.
That's
Oh, Juno, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. Oh, it's so nice to meet people in person. There's nothing like it. It really isn't. It's really wonderful. So yeah, that's great. That's great. So, what's been going on? Thayer, have you been on anybody's show of late? Or
No, I've been doing a lot of online mediumship groups and stuff.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
You know, maybe I'm trying to figure out a way where I could do little mini paintings for people. Maybe that would be a good show.
Yeah.
Could you could get a name and I could just do a couple of mini paintings.
Yes. You could do the Bob Ross, only a real small, right?
Yes. Psychic happy clouds.
So, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's awesome.
I noticed Wild Willie is really awake today.
He just woke up from his afternoon nap. So watch out.
Perfect timing for Wild Willie. Yes. Oh, and so Terri, what have you been up to?
Well, I have gotten back from my vacation. I have finally gotten over my cold.
That's good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I've just been having fun. We've been hanging out, doing shows with Jean and Joan and Terri Lee. And the next big thing I'm going to do is on October 26th, I'm going to be on with Dr. Gail, Skywalking with Moon, and I'm going to tell my alien story. So.
Oh boy! Oh, that's awesome! I'm looking forward to that. Is it like a ghost story, or kind of a creepy story, or?
It's a little creepy, but it's also fun.
It is okay. That sounds awesome. That sounds great. That's great. And Mark, I know you are doing your animal readings with Debbie on Mondays.
That's right. And this week it'll be on Debbie's channel.
Okay.
And you guys come over there and bring your animal questions. And then on Saturdays, Pan takes any kind of question that you want to ask. And we do that every Saturday at 4 Eastern. Love you guys to come visit me over there. This week, I'm doing double duty on both those days because Saturday at noon, before the Pan Show, I'm going on Sun Psychic Jean's channel.
Oh, good. Okay.
Again, I love her, and we read together a few times. And then on Monday, after the show with Debbie later that night at 7, I'm going on Deanne Shield.
Oh, Shield Maiden. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the first time, and I'm excited about that too. So,
oh, good for you, Mark. That's really awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah. For me, I am sort of waiting. I'll be on with Jean on Sunday, but I'm waiting on next week where I'm going to make up the people that I had to cancel because I didn't feel too well. So I'm going to be having on Sybil Harmony, who is a psychic medium, and she's been doing long distance healing work on me and has been phenomenal. I can feel it. She's worked on my lungs and a few other places. And she says my energy level is getting up a little bit more. And I thought that was really sweet of her. And I also will have the light language gal Dina on eventually, and Gertrude Shue on next week, and Lady Soul on next week. So busy. And but I'm really trying to go slow because I've still been teaching all this time, guys. So that, Anyway, 14 classes is a little too much, but I've been. Oh, and tomorrow I'll be on with Susan Lynn, by the way. Susan Lynn is coming. We've had this scheduled for a long time. She'll be coming on 10 o'clock Pacific and noon Eastern, and we're going to talk about a bunch of cool questions from some on my community page and some from others. So please bookmark that and come by and see Susan Lynn. She's always a real fun person to watch. So. Anyway, yeah. So I want to say, Andrea, thank you so much. I have been feeling the love from you all. And thank you all for your deep and loving prayers and thoughts. And I've felt it very deeply. And I definitely always love you and appreciate all of you. So thank you so much to all of you. I want to say hello to Lise and Emerald Buddha and Sherry and Kiba and hi, Dave Maud, Mom of Two Dogs, Deb, Lady Silver, and who else is here? T-Bar, bye T-Bar. And of course, Juno with the big hug from Joan. I didn't know Joan was going to drive that far west. I hope she's coming here to see us, Terry.
I think that's a little too far.
It might be too far. Hi, Camp Mama. It's good to see you. Oh, and Hypnicity. Hello. Sherry Dombeck. Butterfly Kisses. Hi. I just want to make sure. Marg. Epiphany Noel. Thank you so much. Hi, Kate. What's the topic today? Sherry Dombeck says. So I have to ask the three of you, did you watch the hearings this morning?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Most-
Terry? Terry,
Yes.
did you too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by anything? Not that we all know a lot of these things, but wonder what you thought about.
It reminds me of just how slow the wheels of justice go. It's just I just have to breathe with patience the whole time because I'm just going.
Yeah.
Oh, it couldn't possibly be more obvious. Like if it was just all over. I don't know. It just but whatever.
I know.
I'm like grateful for it and all that, but I just today I was going, oh gosh, I'm just feeling impatient again about it.
I understand. No, I do.
Well,
Yeah.
I think accountability is the theme this week because I was very happy to see the judgment against Alex Jones. The way he tortured and was cruel.
Oh. Yeah.
His cruelty towards those families that lost those children. 10 years it took, and he still won't stop. But I think it is time for people to be accountable. And I'm really happy that they publicly subpoenaed Trump.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Powerful ending. Yeah.
Very, very clear, very powerful. There's no bipartisan, and no one is above the law.
Right.
And so,
I think my agitation came, and I understand they have to do this piecemeal. My agitation comes in the Jim Jordans, Marjorie Taylor Greens, Boebert, Gates, all those yo-yos. When will we see them also have to, because they had all the people that like Stone and Bannon that all took the fifth,
right.
And they're probably going to be prosecuted. But I want these other folks too, because they're instigators. Yeah.
Well, they're enablers.
They're enablers is right. Yep. That's
well,
for sure.
I think the Justice Department is sort of, because it's sort of in sections. Everything sort of has to be in sections. But the Alex Jones verdict is telling Fox News and all these other people who go out and lie and they slandered Hillary Clinton beyond belief.
Yeah, they did.
I wish she had taken them to court, because Roger Stone was saying that Hillary Clinton was a pedophile. He had a book on it. And we just let them slide and slide and slide. Like no one stopped them.
Yeah.
So
I'm hearing from across the community a lot about, a lot of predictions from different people who don't listen to each other because they don't want to be influenced by each other. But it looks like we are just going to have a large amount of blue. I hope that's the case. That will take over. What surprises me is that, especially in Kentucky, Mark, Mitch McConnell is saying he has the votes to remain in his position, or I guess in his seat. I don't know, but I'm not getting that from some of the psychics. They're not seeing that happen. So I don't know.
Well, when I read on him personally, I got that he wasn't. And of course, I won't be voting for him, but
right.
Actually, nobody I know in Kentucky.
Those machines are rigged.
Yeah. I agree. No, I know Thayer. I've heard that from the beginning.
Yeah.
That it was cheating here in Kentucky in particular, but also other places. But Republicans. So, that's really frustrating. And I really do believe it's all gonna, they're gonna get there. So when I say I'm impatient, it has nothing to do with that, because I do know, and I do feel it coming, like Thayer said. And I take every little instance when someone has to be held accountable, I take that as a victory, no matter.
I do too. No, I do too.
Every single time. But then, watching it, I just go, really? There's really big bunches of people out there that need to hear this yet again? I just don't know. I just think if you're not convinced by now, I don't know if you will ever be. And I just don't know.
I understand, Mark. That was frustrating, because I was asking my husband, who happens to be home this week, he had to close down because he has COVID, that nobody else, he's watched all these in his office while they were going on, and nobody was interested. Not anybody who walked in and not anybody who worked there was even mildly interested in what was going on in the trials. So I think we see that. And this is what's so frustrating. It's like, even when I was in college and the news wasn't like it is now, I was mildly interested in what Richard Nixon did, even though I didn't know everything about it, but at least I wanted to know what was happening. Whereas this is something even worse in my estimation. And, there are people that just don't care.
Well,
they don't care.
It's like it's like vaccines. Way back in New Jersey, when you grow up in New England, you walk all of the old graveyards and there's children. 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, rows of children. And they probably died from whooping cough, measles, polio, and all the I call them the yoga Nazis that were very anti-vax, and because they've never seen their children die, they've never experienced the grief or the death or that sickness that can come in and actually take your child's life after 2 weeks of suffering, or polio. So there's no consequence. And I think everybody's so into TikTok and so into the internet and so into another world, they don't connect what's going on in Washington or lying or accountability to their reality.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you think, and I heard something about this, that's why I'm asking this question. Do you think that the long-term COVID effects will bring thousands or millions of people to have to take disability? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's inevitable if it won't go away.
Right. But what I mean is that, there's some people, I have a friend who actually cannot get out of bed. And if she takes her garbage out to the road and comes back, she is bedbound for 2 days. That's energy that she expended. She's only in her 50s, but she has long-term COVID and she can't work. She's all by herself. She can't stand up and make a sandwich even. It's, and I had read that they were expecting maybe 30 million people will have to file for long-term COVID benefits because of this issue. So, I don't like bringing bad news to anybody. It's just that I don't think that when you're bringing up the vaccinations and how people were so against them and everything, you have to ask yourself, what are going to be the ramifications of something like this, whether they take them or they don't.
The folly of a few makes the whole cost. Everybody has to pay for the folly of a few, because your kid could be unvaccinated, be carrying a virus and infect a kid that was vaccinated, but could still get the virus and kill the other kid. So it's the and
plus when I was a kid, and you guys, some of you, we got rid of those things.
Yeah.
With vaccination.
Yeah.
Right. But you're never going to get rid of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But even things like measles are coming back because people are being so stupid. The other thing is, I know it was a different time, right? But I don't even know how many vaccinations I had as a kid. A lot.
Oh, I know.
School, you were giving them. You had every kid at school had to get a vaccination. They came to school and gave them to you.
Yeah,
they did. That left a big scar on you, the big and all that. Well, here's the thing about that: we didn't all drop dead though from it. Like none of us did. There was never a big thing. Oh no, all that vaccinating we did, well, it just killed. No, what it did was it got rid of those. So I got rid of those things. Just, and I guess younger generations who didn't have that. And so they somehow think they're invincible or something.
Well, the consequences, the reality. And I think with the abortion decision, all the young women are now like, oh, this is real. This is going to affect my life.
Absolutely.
They're waking up because now a decision is affecting their life directly.
Well, and in Idaho, the state college, I believe, is not allowing anything on campus to do with planned pregnancy, no birth control, nothing. Yeah. They're not. Yeah. So you're just asking for a disaster to happen in a lot of ways. But my dad had TB when I was a little girl, and so I had to be TB tested at least twice a month. And he was in the hospital for I think he was in the hospital for 2 years total. Yeah. But he did get rid of it, but it affected him because his lungs were never quite the same afterwards. But and
it killed some people.
Yeah, it did.
It did. So, I don't know. Sometimes you have to kind of just go along with those people who dedicate their lives to medicine.
Yep.
And healing and studying that. And sometimes you just have to go, okay, because I don't know. And I do have life experience of, well, we all had them and it didn't really have a negative effect. And except that it got rid of it, so I'm just thinking, with COVID, I'm going, okay, vaccination, please.
And I had 4 of them and I still ended up with it. And it doesn't pass you by. But I tell you, I probably would have died just feeling the way I did if I hadn't had any shots. And I still have to get my Omicron shot.
Well,
and I will get it.
The vaccinations also weaken the virus, because if the virus can't reproduce,
right,
it becomes stronger, and they keep hitting a host that they're not going to cycle in their lifetime up. That damages down the it's a people, when there's change, and I think with the internet coming along, really in our lifetime, I remember when I was 6, seeing a color TV was phenomenal. I'm 7, and now look what we're doing.
I was in college before my family had a color TV.
Color TV, yeah, but I mean,
1974.
I remember seeing a black and white TV that was tiny, but change scares people.
It does.
And they feel out of control, so they try to find something,
the boogeyman,
feel in control about. And the conspiracy theories give somebody a sense of control, that they know what's going on. They have control, that they know who's controlling things. It's a false sense of security.
It is false.
But it helps them manage their fear.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead.
When I was, traveling on my vacation, we had to spend a couple days in Dublin, Ireland. And everybody was all chummy and talking to each other and close to each other and going to bars. And it's like, wow, why? And nobody's wearing a mask. And finally, I asked somebody on the bus that was Irish, like, what's going on? And they said, we have herd immunity because we have 97% vaccination rate, because what the government did is they tied it to beer. You couldn't go into the pub and have a beer unless you had the vaccination.
Right. They hit them where it hurts. Yeah, that's right.
She showed me the government website where it shows how many cases in Dublin today, and it was 0. It was 0 the day before and 0 the day before that. And it was like, oh my God. And Greece was actually the same way. Everybody in Greece has had 2 shots. It's like
a lot of that. It's smarter. I just kept thinking, sometimes in life you take one for the team. You know what I mean? Right. And if it's just that little old thing, do it and shut up. Stop being so contrary. It's like, because then it becomes this you against them kind of a thing. And it's about selfishness too, on some level, where you go, well, you're being so selfish over something that I don't know that it's that. I don't know why you've decided to die on this. You've decided to advocate for drinking bleach rather than taking a vaccination. Yeah, I don't really understand. It's like people went nuts.
Did you guys hear about the NyQuil to make chicken, or the NyQuil chicken thing? Somebody was trying to say that you could cook chicken in NyQuil and take that and it would eradicate the virus as well. And people were believing that. It's just really scary to me that the use of reason seems to be something that people aren't interested in. They'd rather just be told what to do, or, sent in a, yes, but freedom, Cat Mama says. That's right. Let's, all right. So since we're talking about this, why don't we just go ahead and go into some questions people have. Lady Silver wonders what will happen to Adam Kinzinger after he leaves Congress, if you guys have any thoughts about that. And I realize it's something different, but that's okay. We'll try something different.
I see him going into a law practice.
Ooh.
Involved in outside organizations to continue his work that he did in Congress. But I see he and his family need a break from, they need a respite, because I think they've been harassed. I see him being very active and sort of behind the scenes active.
Do you know that he is endorsing all the Democratic candidates in Illinois?
Yeah.
He is. He's endorsing them all. Yeah.
What I saw was that he's going to just go on with his life. He's going to have good jobs, probably in law, and he'll just kind of ride on his laurels. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, Allie, that he's endorsing Democratic candidates. That's nice.
I know. Yeah. Mark, any thoughts?
Well, I do think he's going to take a break. And
he's got a little baby he wants to spend time with too, I think. Yeah.
I know, be with family, because I got the 10 of ghosts, so that's the 10 of hearts or cups. And that's a family too. He's got got the little kids there. Because he needs to bring some balance. I got temperance, but balance, because this has been a lot. He's got lots of threats and all that and stuff for just sticking to the truth. Yeah. But I feel like he's going to really have a lot of people asking him to get back into politics.
I agree.
And I feel like they're going to try to get him to switch sides.
Yeah.
I think he's making do that. Go on the Democratic side, because he's realizing that doesn't suit who he is. He might be more moderate, but he's certainly not that,
Right.
And I think a lot of Democrats are going to be trying to pull him in. I got the King of Pentacles, which I wouldn't be surprised if, Biden's talked to him a couple times and showed him how, what a good guy he thinks he is and stuff like that. And, that sort of also makes me think of the Democratic Party, and that they might also be going to do that with him. Anyway, I think he's going to take a break, but all people are going to be trying to pull him back in.
Pull him back in. I get here the caution traffic cone, that he has to be careful right now. And he's just trying to finish up what it is that he's doing. But he has been, we already know, people have said things to him, threatened him. But here, lightning comes in and has disrupted his life, which we know that's true. But look, I get the globe, which is possibility. He has so much possibility. He's only in his 30s.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of years. Yeah. He's got a lot of years.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of years ahead of him. Thanks for the question. I don't know about Liz. My husband seems to think she's going to run for president. I don't think that she is in 24, if she does. I think she'd have to really be endorsed by an awful lot of people from the regular Republican Party. And I'm not sure that they're ready yet to have that all come together, between the radicals, and there's not that many regulars out there. So I'm not sure.
We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully the Republican Party will be in jail by 2024. We'll see.
That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
So you're doing that right away, maybe later, because she's still fairly young.
Yeah, she is. She's in her 50s.
But I feel like she might be offered like an something like that, like some
ambassadorship. Yeah, maybe.
And where she's on some level, she's rewarded for her fight for the truth and justice. And I feel like there might be some other thing that she wants to do, that's kind of particular to her. I don't know. I feel like it, because her dad's still alive too.
Well, I know. Yeah.
So, I just feel like, once again, it's hard to stay in the Republican Party, even if you're a big, blue and blue Republican, because they changed it so much.
So much. True.
So I don't know. She might be satisfied just by being an ambassador or something like that for a while.
So Keepa just wrote that Governor Stitz of Oklahoma blocked transgender operations, I guess, in healthcare. And he's the one also that has completely eradicated abortion in Oklahoma as well. That to me is so disturbing.
What they're doing here is they're doing what they did with the abortion thing. Now the Supreme Court for this year, that's mostly conservative, a lot of governors and a lot of people are putting in these outrageous laws, hoping they're going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is going to rule in favor of the conservatives. That's why that's happening. I don't see it lasting. It's sort of like the minute the Supreme Court became conservative and the governors, like in what was it, Texas, they had this abortion law, or Mississippi, they brought it. And as soon as Mississippi was in favor of anti-abortion, then all the cards fell.
They all fell down. Yeah.
Other laws that were waiting there locked into place because they're very organized, and they're going after transgender now. I know. Just hang on.
They're talking about gay marriage as well. Some of
gay
them.
marriage as well. So all of this is just, baiting. It's baiting.
I know. Well, they were also talking about banning marriages of black and white, or Asian and black, or whatever, which is completely bananas. But this is where it will go. It will just keep getting more and more crazy. Dave Maud, who is in the UK,
hi Dave,
says that he sees a big reset. He sees a bank collapse coming for the banks. Anybody? You want to see if you can read on that, folks? See? All right.
The bank collapse. Is he talking about everywhere, I guess?
No.
Just
I think so, because he's in the UK. So I think he's seeing a big reset because everybody's complaining about our economy, but it's not just our economy. It's everybody's economy. It's got nothing to do with just us. So
may I say what I...
Yeah.
You may say.
Yeah. What's happening is the money is getting a big reset. All this inflation, all this worldwide inflation that we have is caused by the people who do the shipping. They decided they were going to double their fees. All the people that have big money and can control our goods and services and our food are using a lot of the war and COVID to reset the money. So $1 million is, in order to be rich, you have to have $1 billion now. $1 billion is what $100,000 is now. So it's a big reset, because money really is fiction. It
is fiction.
It's something that's made.
It's energy.
It's energy. It's something that's made up. And as soon as Biden got into office, I just read a book on Chile when there was a socialist government that went into Chile, and the minute that person was in, all of the people with money doubled their prices. They caused inflation because they didn't want the socialist dictator to succeed. They didn't want, and as soon as Biden got into office and was going to give everybody a break and help everybody with money, that's when you see all the people that control vast amounts of money, like the people who do the shipping. All the people in the shipping industry, all they did was quadruple their prices. So when you import wine, all of a sudden the wine has to go up, or the shoes, or food.
Right. Everything does. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a political chess move to keep people with money in power. So I think when they're feeling like a bank collapse or something is going to collapse, it just means your dollar is going to be worth 35 cents. Okay. So
it's like during the Nazis, the marks, the German marks, you have to bring a whole wheelbarrow full of money to get a loaf of bread. It's just nothing matters. Nothing is worth anything.
You're not free. Everybody talks about freedom in America. If you don't have money in America, you're not free. You're living on the streets and you're living in squalor. Yeah. So freedom, if you have money, you can be free and say what you want because you can afford a lawyer or whatever. But if you don't have money, you're not free. And this is a big economic reset. So I think that
So Dave could be right. Exactly right.
Well, I could go on. I'm sorry to talk too much.
Terry?
I don't really have anything.
Okay. That's okay.
Well, I just drew 3 cards, which seems to be like about all that you're just talking about and what Dave is talking about. But the Four of Swords first, which, it's like the pause before something new. Stop, lay down. We got to think, could also be you're on your coffin, you're on your deathbed. So, that doesn't look that great because I just asked about in a month. And then, oh, great, the devil is next. And so what I hear about from that card, isn't this card cool? This is that.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Jack-o'-lantern deck. But, it's those guys at the top with all the monies. This devil happens to be green too. Grabbing on, trying anything to keep the money. So there is something coming to make a difference. And then I get going from rough waters to smooth. Whoops. So
maybe after it's over, this is what happens.
But there is going to be some big old shenanigan or something.
Yeah.
We're like going, oh, what now? Kind of a thing. But I feel like it'll smooth out.
Okay.
So it's just not an everyday.
Yeah. I get the same thing, Mark. I use my Halloween Oracle cards, and I get, first of all, the skeleton coming in. We're going to be taken to the bare bones, but we need to remain strong. And then the jack-o'-lantern comes in, interesting, and it is our protection. So if this happens, it's to protect us from more than anything. And that the hearth comes in as the happiness in our hearth and home, or in our hearts and home. So I'm getting that if this happens, this will be a good thing, possibly eventually. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to want the banks to collapse, but if that happens and they can renegotiate things, then it will be better for us as individuals where we live. That's what it looks like anyway. Yeah.
Ultimately for the best. But this is that part of that thing that we've been talking about all along, how so many things are being flushed to the surface for the truth and then wiped away and rebuilt. So I feel like this is just another example of that, and way back.
Yep.
I remember Spirit would always include banking whenever I would be talking to them about, what do you mean by things being brought to surface to be changed? And they would include that in it, also education, all different things, but for sure.
Right. Yep. And I recognize, Dave, that we have done some things that, we just readjust things here. We add to the deficit. We whatever we do. It's just interesting because remember when, was it Iceland? I think it was Iceland. They lost, and Greece as well. I believe they lost they had like a bankruptcy, and things are better for them. It became better for them eventually.
Well, in Iceland, they put all the bankers in jail.
No, that might be an idea as well.
During the 08 crash, all the people that pushed all the bad loans, Iceland was small enough, they put them all in jail.
Well, and I just read that Kevin Bacon, who we all know and love, actually is broke because Bernie Madoff took off with all his money. Yeah. So. Well, so Andrea said she's heard October is going to be about big stuff. She said, could you take a look?
All right.
And Hypnicity and Tana, I'm going to get to your questions. Thank you for posting them.
Yeah, I'd love any mediumship questions. I've been doing a lot of mediumship.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, back when like on my birthday on October 1st, I was reading about that, and I did a thing about, when seasons changed.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, Spirit was saying, or Pam was saying, that it was a big energetic shift in October and all 3 months of the fall. They were going to even bring in more of that natural energy, which is harvesting what you've worked on and getting the produce, the work producing results. So I did feel like there was going to be an influx of breaking through that where it feels like we're behind a wall and we can't quite break it and then get on with it. So I felt like that was going to be a bigger push in that direction and that we should notice it in October. So, but that makes me think things like, what's his name, losing his case and have to pay millions of dollars to all those people. Those are kind of the things I think they're talking about. But
big stuff, yeah.
Or it looks like, someone's having to take responsibility for their actions, and it actually went to fruition. Like, it's done. You're gonna face it. It's over. So I think there might be more of that coming with,
like dominoes, like you're saying, the domino effect.
Yeah, we've been working at it.
Yeah.
Please get some truth and stuff. It's going to be seeing some more of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I saw on my stage was a noose. A noose suddenly dropped down, and then as I kind of went into the energy a little bit, like, why is that on my stage? I feel like that this month, a lot of bad behavior is going to be called out and made an example of. Nobody's dying in this noose or whatever, but I feel like the big stuff happening is just finally some people being called to account with it. That hopefully some of the corporations, some of the people kind of making all this happen will see that bad behavior is not going to be tolerated very long. It will eventually catch up with them. But that starts to show this month.
Sure. Well, I got the fall card. First, I thought to myself, well, it is the fall. I mean, this is October, this is the fall. But I also got in my mind, this means two things, Allie. There's a fall that's happening. And so when Mark was talking and saying how the dominoes are falling, I'm feeling like falling in the fall. And then I got, it will bring us healing. And I agree with that so much, because once we start to see these things chip away, where we become healed during each time that it happens, because each one is like an open sore on us. And it says here, there's a speed coming with it. It's going to happen. Boom, boom, boom. You don't have to wait. So Mark will be happy. Yeah, and it will be on the global level. Yeah, on the global level. So
that's kind of what I was saying too, Allie. And on that, that next to the last card you pulled up.
Speed.
Yeah, and I can see that karma wheel in there spinning.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's what I feel like it's, we're in a way that we're going to be seeing it. We're seeing the karma come in, like, and kind of speeding up a little bit. Thank goodness. Yeah.
Reminds me of the guy that held up a sign in front of the White House just before he left that said, "TikTok, mother effer." I just feel like, we're finally getting the TikTok coming in.
I got the Ace of Pentacles reversed.
Okay.
Then I got the Seven of Swords reversed.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Emperor. And to me, they talk about the October surprise. And this is wealth, money. And this could be, manipulation or information coming out, either good or bad. But then I see the Emperor come in, and to me, that's order. That order will be, he's sort of like, he's right sort of next to Pan in a way in the major arcana, where he is responsible for the structure and order of things. So I think there's going to be a lot of money manipulating people's opinions and what they're doing. And then order will come in. So,
yeah,
yeah, but
we could use order. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody's going to be having an extra glass of wine, I think, until after the elections. Yeah.
Dave says Trump is in alliance with Putin and 30 countries. We are in the storm, and the end of next month it begins. Make sure you have food. You will think there's going to be a nuclear war. Well, and this is another thing. I said to my husband, I said, I don't think it's a mistake that Joe Biden said what he said about Putin and Armageddon and all that. It wasn't to inspire fear in anybody. What he wanted to do was to let Putin know that we're concerned, and yet, in some ways, I think it was calling his bluff. In other words, you're the one creating the problem. And I know that Putin just had his birthday and he spent it in a bunker. So he's a little worried about his life, I think.
Well, and Dave, there's a lot of fear in that statement. And when people are afraid, they can be controlled. And
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good way to counteract that type of fear is to send love and healing and positive energy to areas that need strength, because prayer and sending energy does work. Yes. And I don't think, I think all of Putin's nuclear weapons are sort of like his tanks and his army. They're all old and, so we want to send positive.
We do. We do. And not by, we want to be realistic, but we also don't want to live in fear or buy into the fear. It brings our energy down. We need our energy to be up and running for us.
And the Republicans function on fear.
Oh, I know they do. I absolutely know they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. I still would like to have a beer with you, though.
He said America is surrounded by warships, Chinese warships, and so is Europe.
Economic warships.
Yeah. Interesting. Tracy, who is also a psychic, says she thinks things are going to be wild with the war, which doesn't surprise me. I am wondering if if NATO will allow Ukraine to join. They asked for a dispensation to join NATO, and I don't know for sure whether or not they will, in fact, be added in. But they certainly need the help, and we can only do so much. If they're not in there. All right. So this is a great question Tana has. And I wasn't surprised by it today, but I did not really know that this happened right at the end, right before he walked out. He signed this troop withdrawals in Somalia and Afghanistan. He wanted them to be out before the 21st of January. Because he knew he wouldn't be in there anymore. And so when Joe did the Afghanistan withdrawal, everybody thought that was a real shitstorm but it looks like Trump had this in place to begin with. Any thoughts or reactions to that information today?
He wanted to burn the house down for Biden, basically. He wanted to create chaos, so Biden inherited a mess and a chaotic environment, so he would fail. Basically. He left.
But that should give a different story to the Republicans who are blaming Joe for pulling out of Afghanistan, because it looked like it was going to be. I don't know why it wasn't done by the 21st of January if he signed the edict for it to happen. I'm confused by that.
It's kind of weird. I'm getting two different answers.
Okay.
Kind of getting, he thought he was going to be a war hero.
Oh.
And then secondarily, also though, he wants to burn the bridge down.
Yeah.
So I maybe he's just as confused.
Well, we know he was confused. Yeah. I still think they should have brought more up about the 25th Amendment and how many people were willing to sign that at the time and never did. So
yes, but now I'm hearing another word on this, greed. It's greed on his part.
okay.
Greed for any sort of notoriety
whatsoever, not caring which one it is. Yeah. Did you pull any cards, Mark?
No, but I just feel like it was just almost like, let me see what else I can do, kind of a thing, just to throw more fuel.
Right.
It was just like, and also because I can. It was like that. Now I can look what else I could. I don't know. It's all like crazy. Like,
I think the point that they wanted to make today, Tana, was that he knew he lost and he knew Joe Biden was coming in. And so this is why he wanted it done before he left. Whereas if he didn't think he lost, why would he do it? And it was sort of a proof that says, oh yeah, I know, even though I won't admit I know. So by what he is doing, he was making that decision. But it is interesting, an interesting question. All right. So why are so many Republicans are afraid of the orange guy? Well, I think that it's like anybody else. It's Jerry, that it's just he's a bully and he will take you down for the least thing. You must have fealty to the master here. And we all thought we want him out because we don't want to hear about him anymore. And what have we been hearing about for the last 2 years? More about him, and more. He never leaves, And so, all right. So we have a medium question here for you, and thank you for that. I'm going to let you shift gears, and that may take you a minute or two. So we're going to try to let you take your time with this one. But Hypnicity's husband, Dave, her first husband, died long after they divorced. But since her awakening, she understands many of the lessons he did try to teach her. And so she just wonders if he has any messages for her.
he's still connected to your soul, Hypnicity, even though you guys didn't stay together, as husband and wife. There was like a soul connection and a soul agreement. I feel like what I hear him saying to me is, I've been following along your progression and watching you. And I do feel that I helped set up some of the stepping stones for you to be where you are now. And he's talking about even in this clear realization of that you have of your spirit connection. He's also proud of you. He feels like, even though it was kind of rough and tumble, that you guys did what you were supposed to do, because he's talking about big picture and that he's able to see it more clearly from where he is. And like you said, he sees, the lessons, because he didn't understand that either, but he sees it on this side, because sometimes it just felt like, why were we at odds? And it didn't go much deeper than that or something. But I do feel him around you still, Hypnicity, like checking in on you. And, he keeps saying, I'm proud of you. Okay.
Hypnicity, I see Dave on my stage, and there's a lot of sunset colors going on here. And he is standing on the stage holding a big wicker basket, a big like market wicker basket the kind you'd use if you had a huge garden and you were going out and harvesting in the garden and you'd put it all in the basket. And he's given me such a nice sense of just love and calmness and beauty. Just he's really giving me these senses, and he's saying how much he loves you, but how much he loves harvesting the fruit of his efforts back when he was in life, and also watching you harvest some of your spiritual gifts, some of your spiritual fruit that you are bearing now. And so he's just really very pleased with that, and he's there helping you. He is around, just what Mark said, and he just joined me in the market basket of harvesting.
Cool.
So I'm seeing a dark-haired man, probably in his 30s, mid-30s. I feel as a husband, he was attentive to you, but not very emotionally supportive. I just see a young man trying to figure out how to navigate life. I think he was basically a good person, but very uninformed on how to be a good, attentive husband, was distracted, that he could be distracted with his own struggles. And I think that's where the parting of the ways came. I do see him, like everybody else, giving you a big golf clap from above. And he's telling me that we both met and interacted for a reason, but we never really, sort of ships passing in the night. I think he was just absorbed in trying to figure out who he was and what he was doing. So he couldn't, there was no room to bring anybody else in. I think he was a good worker. He was a good son. He tried to be a good person. I keep hearing that he was a bit lost. And he kind of goes, I kind of died too soon, but I died when I was supposed to die. I felt like he felt like he had more time to work things out. But he's saying, yay, you figured out how to grow from the experience instead of being victimized by it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. And Tracy said he appreciates you. I got here that he said you're using your intuition, which is vital. Your intuition is your strength, hypnicity. Keep using it. And that that brought you to this community. And he's really happy that you found this community. And look at, you got the harvest, and I got where you put the harvest. You put it in the refrigerator. Look at this. I get the rainbow of hope. There's always food. There's always sustenance available to you. And look, it has a beautiful rainbow on it as well. And so, I think he wanted you to know for sure that, he's watching you and he's happy with your progress.
And I want to tell you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, sweetie.
No, it's all right.
Just want to tell you one more quick thing, which this is one of the things is, it's hard to prove or whatever, but he keeps saying it. So I'm going to tell you. He says this was the first time you guys were in a relationship together, and he sees it more clearly from where he was. But you had a very successful, long-term loving relationship in another lifetime. You decided that you would connect, but it was going to be different than that other time. But that love really is what brought you together again in this time. But you were both. You were looking to teach each other's soul lessons and help each other advance. So, he said, I learned things too, from that. But he wants you to know that you guys were together before, and I drew the world I was talking about.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
What did he die of? Curious.
Hopefully she'll post that in there. Okay, so I have two more questions, and we'll just go a little bit over. We have a question from Sherry Dombeck and one from Cat Mama, and then we'll be done for the day. Thank you for everybody for all your questions. And I realize it was a different type of day. We talked a lot about what was going on in politics, and I know that's not always what a lot of people want to listen to, but I appreciate your indulgence. So let us know if there's anything, any topic you would like us to cover on these Thursdays, and we will try to make that happen for you. So Sherry Dombeck says, can anyone tell me about my past lives?
Oh.
That's an interesting one.
Now watch this time. They won't say a word.
Oh, that's funny.
Sherry.
Oh, Hypnicity didn't find out on the obituary what he passed from. But Dave says he'll take you up on the drink. There.
Oh, great. And Dave, I didn't mean to say that you were afraid. It wasn't a personal.
I don't think he took it that way.
Okay.
Let's see what we can get for you, Sherry. Wow. So I'll tell you what I got, Sherry, and it's not going to tell you where or who you were, but I get that you were a person who took a lot of risks and were rewarded by those risks. Because look at the bite of the apple. The bite of the apple is there, and it's in a heart shape. So I'm guessing that whatever you did in your past life was worth it for you in your risk and reward column, and that it brought you a lot of joy. But it says here, rejoicing in the present. So what I'm thinking is that you may have gone through risk and reward in one past life, and now you're finding joy because you don't have to go through those lessons again. You're not having to face those. Because the next card I get is death. And I thought that was interesting because it was the death of the past life that brought you to the present. So I think that you're recognizing also that it is death brings the eternal cycle of life and death, and that whatever it is that you're learning in this life will be valuable also, and you won't have to repeat in the next life. So I get that you really did a lot of work, and maybe that was the last life you had. I'm not sure.
I get risk taker. I get that in many lives you would get on a boat and go, over to America, or that you were always sort of off, sort of doing pioneer things or exploratory things, looking, a seeker. You were a great seeker. And I see a multifaceted sort of like those disco balls with all the lights and mirrors in them. I see that your soul is very much multifaceted, and I would say that you were a seeker, and that maybe you still are very much a seeker, but your soul hungry for information. It's not a particular past life, but that's sort of what I got as a fearless risk taker that wanted to learn things.
Awesome.
So I got a particular past life, but I'm not getting very far in it. So what I saw is at first my entire vision was taken up by like gold or brass, carved gold and brass, something fancy. And then as it pulled out, I saw that it was a gold ewer, a gold thing, and I see you as a very, very wealthy woman, Greece, in old age. You're wearing almost like a toga, and you have gold on your arms, and they're pouring some water. And I just heard a life of importance and pleasure and leisure. So I think you're somebody important, somebody. I'm not recognizing this person like some ruler, but you were somebody very rich, somebody very in control. Does feel like Greece, feels like a long, long time ago. And I'm just not allowed to go past that. Usually I can find out like maybe what you're supposed to learn or something. I'm just seeing this lovely scene. You're so beautiful. You have hair that's in ringlets of gold. Very beautiful. And a nice life, a beautiful life where that you don't have to worry for anything. But that's all the farther I get. So sorry.
I just, for one thing, the first thing they were telling me, I just feel like they want to talk about a time when you were a male, a soldier, and a leader. But from when I get the Knight of Bats, which is swords in this, but right on the front, brave, risk taker, fighting for what you wanted, but like a soldier during those times when there was a lot of fighting and scrappling and arguing going on, like these imps fighting here. And that was one. But then the other thing I don't know why that came up. Maybe it might, relate or something. Or maybe you might feel like a fighter sometimes in your life today. But it also is telling me that you've had quite a few lives. I get the Nine of Cups, and they're talking about you've been back and back and back and back. Because I get the mission right next to it. So it's like, okay, I tried that one. Let's revamp and go back and see what we can get. Then you try the next one, and you get that cup and set it on the shelf, and you go back and retry. And then you bring those cups forward, those past life cups. This is the Six of Cups, but a lot of times that's about childhood or things in your past. But so it's almost like it's like this one here. Your soul goes, I know how to work the system here. So you go, you live your best life, you figure something out, you take it back as you take it, you own it, and then you keep moving. So I do feel like you've been back many times, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. We have one more, and it's Cat Mama, Meow, Meowdy. She feels like October's a big month for her and wonders if you see any exciting news or fun changes. She's got lots and lots and lots of pumpkins there.
I'm hearing new relationships, something opening up, a fun, connecting with new people or a new situation, maybe a group of people or one person that it's sort of like you're going to open a door and there's going to be a room full of people that are very interesting and that will expand your life.
Ding.
Does someone have gas? What was that?
Well, you heard Nancy Pelosi today say on her tape about cleaning up the poop.
Yeah.
That is so disgusting.
Wow.
Those people. Ugh.
I know. Disgusting is right.
It's really hard with what I'm getting, to not just think that it's a cliche, but on my stage, they're showing me magic. That this month has some magic in it for you.
Sorry. Oh, God.
There's some learning, that's spiritual learning, that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually, can you tell me more about the magic? What magic? And you're going to get some unplanned surprises that are good surprises, not bad this month, really good ones that will kind of delight you, and you will recognize that kind of the spirit's magic kind of made those for you. So enjoy that.
Cool. All right.
Yep, I just think you're right in tune with the energies of nature and the seasons. And you too will be experiencing like a good harvest, I think, because you've been working at it. And so I definitely get you're in that flow of the seasons. And a lot of times, and while Terry was talking, again, I drew the magician right when she was talking about magic.
Wow.
But sometimes that talks to me about the seasons and the changes in nature, because, he's got all four elements there on the table. He's working with all four, wind, fire, water, what else? Air. No, air, same thing as wind, but earth. Anyway, and I feel like you are in tune with those cycles. So I feel like you have a nice relationship with Earth, Mother Earth. Maybe you don't, but I'm getting that, Mama. And that, the universe has some plenty, or, that cornucopia, like some of it to pour out on you, I feel like. And it will continue into November. It's kind of like October, November.
Well, this is what I pulled, and I pulled them from the Halloween Oracle because it's October. Yep. Why not? I get midnight. Midnight is the most magical hour of all for you. So get your work done, Cat Mama, and get ready for midnight. And I'm guessing you need to get ready for Halloween. That's what I'm feeling. Here's a mummy. There's going to be change coming for you. And so, there's a change up, and that's exactly what the others had said. And that you will be reducing any burdens that you have, and forgiveness will come your way. So I'm seeing good changes, big changes, and also forgiveness that is for you and for others. So I'm seeing those changes that you're looking for. So awesome.
Manifested.
Yeah. I'm just going to bring up one thing that was in the chat, and that was the idea of coming back again. And Mims came in late, and she said a lot of people say they don't want to come back again. And I feel like our purpose is to come to the planet in order to grow, in order that we don't have to come back, that we become more ascended, or maybe even go live on some other planet. I don't know. But my biggest problem is, and I've always said this, I don't want to go back through junior high. That was a really bad time for me. And both of my kids hated it as well. So that's one of my big reasons I don't want to come back. But I will say I have been very fortunate in my life. Even though I've gone through some hard times, I've also been very, very fortunate. And I feel lucky to be on the planet and to have chosen to be on the planet at this time. And I'm sure happy that you all have chosen to be on the planet at this time too, because we need every one of you. So
right. I feel like I might have resisted a little. I feel like they put the call out and go, okay, some of you guys, we need you to go back, because this is the big time. So, some of us went, really? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's the oh shit moment, Mark, right? Oh.
There's a lot of us to come down here and be here during this. And, I don't know.
Yeah. But we did all volunteer.
Yeah.
I just got an image for the next 3 months is that everybody needs to ride the wave. That it's going to be, things are going to be, you think you're going to know what's going on, and then it's going to change. And so just ride the wave, because as the storm does pass, it leaves a different landscape, but not to dig into ideas too deeply, because a lot of them are coming up. They're sort of like methane bubbles. They're coming up, causing some problems and dissipating. I think the war with Putin and the election and a lot of, there's going to be a lot of painful things happening for certain people. So there's going to be a lot of noise.
Keep your vibration high. Try and keep your vibration high.
Attached to it. Yeah, because it will dissipate.
That's right.
I see the Trump and a lot of the Republican sort of fascist ideology. It's like a riptide. It's very strong. People get sucked up into it. But in nature, anything that's strong and that concentrated eventually disperses.
Yeah.
It can't keep
everything's cyclic. Everything's cyclic. Absolutely.
Can't keep that strength for that long. They say when you're in a riptide, to just go with it, don't fight against it. So that's what I'm saying. Just move with it and keep praying.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, wonderful people. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Thayer. Make sure to go over and sign up for Mark's channel and Terry's channel. And if you need some wonderful painting or psychic painting done, reach Thayer at ThayerBoo2@gmail. And Joan will be back next week, I hope. And thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys and gals.